What is next when it comes to Zebec? What are their future plans? Now, there's actually something that was mentioned back in May, which I think gives a pretty strong clue as to what Zebec is planning to do. And let me explain what I mean by that in today's video, even though I am not telling anyone to do anything. It's just my perspective, my review, and nothing I say is financial advice. Now, if we take a look at Zebec, they recently launched the mobile version of the Super app, right? But the thing is, it's now supporting 10 chains, which is pretty impressive. But did you know that actually back in May, so around 2 months ago, the CEO of Zebec, which of course is Simon, not to be confused with Simon Cowell, but Simon, the CEO of Zebec, actually said that eventually the mobile version of the Super app is going to support around 20 chains approximately. So it's going to match that of the desktop version. So initially, when it was first announced that, hey, you know what, the mobile version of the Super app, it went live, a lot of people were thinking, well, okay, it's cool. It was delayed, but still it happened. It was cool, but then why does it only support 10 chains? But actually, around 2 months ago, which a lot of people didn't really care about, the CEO said that, hey, you know what, eventually the mobile version is going to support around 20 chains. So it's actually not so disappointing. Everyone thought that, oh, the mobile version was going to be this watered down version, basically, of the desktop version, but it's apparently not the case. Now, it's going to take quite a while. Do I know exactly when they're officially going to actually support 20 chains approximately on the mobile version of the Super app? No, I have no idea when they're going to do that. But at the same time, that's in their plans. And one thing I do know about Zebec is that typically when they make plans, they don't back out from it. That's just not in their repertoire, right? That's not usually what they do historically. So when I take a look at something like this, I am pretty happy to see that, hey, the mobile version isn't just going to be this quote unquote watered down version of the desktop version. Apparently, that's not going to be the case. So I do like seeing that. Now, just to remind people, because every time I don't mention this, a lot of people complain. So I'm just going to mention it nonetheless. It's just kind of an explanation basically about what the Super App is. So it basically combines a lot of the aspects when it comes to Zebec in regard to payrolls and the cards and all this, and just puts it into one central platform, so to speak. So it makes Zebec a lot more simple, makes it a lot more consolidated. So it's actually just going to make Zebec more simplified moving forward, basically. So yeah, it's not too complicated, but it's basically that. Now, when I take a look at it, people like to tell me, but seriously, Zebec down around almost 3% in the past 24 hours? What is going on? Well, it's just the whole market overall not doing the best. It has really nothing to do with Zebec's fundamentals or what's really going on with it. If anything, Zebec improved a lot this year, increased by around 20,000 holders, had a partnership with Ripple, with Stellar, and also on top of that, we take a look at the recent launch of the mobile version of the Super App, and then also earlier on this year, the launch of the desktop version of the Super App. So actually in 2026, they improved a lot. These are things that I didn't see back in 2025, for instance, right? But we're seeing it right now in 2026. So actually Zebec in the past year alone has improved by leaps and bounds. But it's not showcased in terms of the price because the market isn't doing the best. Zebec, despite not being such a massive project, I mean, the market cap is around 250 million, so it's nothing too massive, but at the same time, basically, a project like this can't just go on an independent rally of its own if the market overall isn't doing the best. So if I'm only evaluating the price charts and I'm correlating it with the fundamentals, of course, there's a mismatch because the fundamentals improved, but the price charts are lower. But it often doesn't really make sense to some individuals out there, at least some of my friends, because they think, well, if something becomes better, why would it become cheaper? It doesn't make any sense. But within this space, that is oftentimes how it works. Let me just give an example, right? If I take a look at Bitcoin, for instance, is the maximum supply still 21 million? Yes, that didn't change. If we consider that nothing fundamentally bad happened to Bitcoin, why is it having a pullback? Well, it's because the market sentiment overall isn't the best. A lot of people left, and naturally it went down. But it doesn't mean that the core fundamentals are any worse or anything like that. The price charts don't always indicate the fundamentals of a project. The fundamentals of a project can be so good, but if the market isn't doing the best, it just won't do the best. But anyways, I mean, it's not really such a main complaint for me because I am looking to dollar cost average once every approximately 30 days anyway, so I don't mind low prices. It's like, for instance, if I take a look at my flannel that I'm using as of right now, and also the t-shirt that I have underneath, and also even my watch, right? Which I got from Japan. It's the Casio G-Shock GW5000HS. But besides that point, if I got all of this in a discount, or at a discount, I should say, which I didn't, but imagine if I did, it would be awesome. I'd be like, you know what? I like it anyways. It's fantastic if there's a discount. But then when it comes to this space, why would I think about it any different? Like in real life, I would not complain about a discount. So in this space, I wouldn't either. Now, this is not a space, in my opinion, if let's say I want things to be quick, that's just not it. Personally, for me, if I wanted things to be quick or whatever, I would not be in this space. Because, first of all, I'm not a trader. And this space could take years at times. Like it could take quite a while. So if I'm not comfortable with waiting, if I'm not comfortable with having to wait for like years if I have to, then this is not the space for me. That's the way to take a look at it. But because I don't mind waiting and I just really don't mind staying patient, then I don't mind. But if let's say I did mind, then I wouldn't be in this space. It's pretty simple, in my opinion. It's like, for instance, if I want to run a marathon, I'd have to expect that I'd have to run for quite a while. It's not a sprint. It's not like it's over in seconds or whatever. That's not the case. So when I take a look at within this space, it's like a marathon. But if I don't want to be in a marathon, then I wouldn't be in a marathon, right? But if I want to, then I would be in a marathon. So it's no different when it comes to this space. If I don't mind waiting for years, then yeah, I don't mind this space. But if I mind, right, if I care so much about waiting, then I wouldn't be in this space. Again, my kind of mentality is more like a marathon, it's not a sprint. But nonetheless, what I focus on is the fundamentals, because usually the fundamentals is what kind of allows a project to survive anyways for the long term. And again, seeing Zebec make the strides that it's making so far, like launching the mobile version of the super app and then planning for 20 or so chains to be supported eventually when it comes to the mobile version, I think it showcases that they're improving, that they're continuing to innovate, and you combine that with the fact that they recently announced a partnership with Stellar and Ripple, it's just kind of like the cherry on top. But it's kind of like a slow build, because this type of stuff may not matter so much right now, but who knows moving forward if the market were to take off. Usually people care about this type of stuff. Zebec last year, the market cap at one point was around 540 million. So clearly we're almost 3 times lower than that, but we're over 2 times lower than that. In which case, I don't mind, because if it goes back there, I'm going to Olive Garden, the restaurant, or maybe Mary Callender's. That's a good restaurant too, and not a lot of people talk about that, but yeah, besides that point. Or maybe Tony Roma's. I mean, I don't even know if that's still around, actually. But yeah, besides that point, I haven't been there in such a long time. But besides that point, I'll be sure to make more updates moving forward when it comes to Zebec, so hopefully y'all stay tuned for that. And I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a very spectacular day.